among others. Think Tank Imani Africa. He's the founding president. Thank you very much for your time and a good morning to you.
Good morning, my brother. How are you?
I am doing, I hope you are too.
Yes, I'm well, thank you.
Okay. It's nice to have you on the line, but clarity is a problem. We can't hear you very clearly.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Hang on one second. I'm sure
Okay.
is this better now?
Okay, we can manage. We can manage.
Okay.
Yes. Let me start off from this point for you because you've been pushing for accountability, transparency in governance. We've done many of this meet the press. How important are these to ensuring the accountability, transparency that we expect from our government?
Without a doubt, any government that wants to, if you like, understand how it is performing, it can only hold a mirror to itself, right? And then look itself in the mirror and say, well, how am I looking? Am I looking prim and proper? Am I looking disheveled? Am I looking unkempt? And all those factors or those questions can only be answered by the mirror. In this case, the mirror is you and I, and every Ghanaian who is interested in democracy. So there can be nothing compared with or to shining light on certain things. And indeed, the president began by talking about that as well, that he wants to keep fidelity to the fact that he promised to uphold the truth and be transparent. So in that regard, it's a very important exercise, indeed.
Great. And I don't know, did this particular meet the press mean a lot to you? Because there are many times when people don't look forward to it anymore.
Well, I think this was good because, again, it tells you whether the president is on top of issues, whether he understands what he's dealing with, and how he feels about what he thinks he's doing. Because it's the only way he can interact with people. So for me, yes, it is a normal ask, it's a normal process, and it doesn't take away from the fact that the president has always been very forthcoming and open when it comes to answering questions when he faces the media. So maybe that is what people may say that, well, we're not really expecting anything different because he would excel anyway. So, but this was a bit different because this time he added the fact that, look, he wants to be as open as possible and he wants to be as not necessarily charitable, but as frontal in dealing with issues. So for me, yes, we could say it was normal, but it was useful. It was quite interesting to hear some of the things he had to say, and then obviously the backbone of which he delivered them. So it doesn't feel so new, novel, but it's refreshing.
And I'm sure you listen to the responses as the questions come, and I'll come to your general assessment of it. But was he as open, as transparent as he promised for you?
Oh yes, without a doubt. I mean, you can say that not maybe some of the answers you may not like, especially the issue around Galamsey. I particularly did not think he was not necessarily candid, but he was quite vehement on that. I didn't think that was, but clearly speaking, for me, most of the questions were on point, and the answers were quite well given, rendered, actually.
Great. Now, two things. So there was a questions that came in. You said the questions were on point?
Oh, yes, the questions were very good questions, actually. I mean, I think very good questions. I don't think there were any problems in the questions at all. Almost all of them.
And okay, so what were your pick of the issues that were raised? Were there any issues? Let me start. Whether there was any issues that were on your mind that were not raised on the night.
I don't think there was any issue that wasn't raised. Frankly speaking, Well, we may look at every sphere of a government's life, but from the account he himself gave, he almost gave a near 360 account of what the state looks like. So for me, the questions that flowed essentially were mostly related to issues of, I mean, healthcare, economy, um, whatever, agri. They were there. I mean, they were there. Land issues, conflict. I guess the temperature of the country was very well represented in that encounter. Very, very well done.
Okay, so you've already indicated that there were answers to questions on Galamsey
Yes.
that you do not necessarily agree with, perhaps maybe the government's approach.
Yeah.
Which specific answers did he provide that you do not agree with?
Well, to suggest that, you know, a state of emergency is a big thing and that you even have to determine the areas, because certainly what we wanted you to do. We are not saying that we should declare state of emergency to the entire country. No, no, no. Nobody is saying that. He identified specific spots. Just as he was able to tell us that, oh, there have been some places that they've reclaimed the land or some sort of sacked all the Galamsey out of it. He was able to define the areas, mention them. But what makes him believe that we cannot define an area and then, how do you call it, exert some sort of pressure there as well? I can understand that these guys are dodgy, those who mind are dodgy, and they're doing all sorts of things. But you see, it doesn't take away. It takes a bit away from what you promise. You promise a state of emergency will be declared. I mean, now you come in and say, "Well, it's not easy. Oh, it's not easy." We understand that, but look, people died for crying out loud. Ministers died in trying to change the face of this illegality. So I don't think it was palatable hearing him say that, oh, it's going to be difficult and it's not an easy thing. No. Nobody said so. I think we all wanted this thing done properly. So yeah.
I think his point was that he feels that they've not even exhausted the powers that are available to them yet, that they've given the security services enough powers.
The issue is, why do we have policemen everywhere? I mean, I don't think you guys want to stop a crime in Achibota, a bigger crime in Accra. You should want to stop the bigger crime in Achibota at the same time. You want to do that one before you come to stop the one in Accra. Nobody. Well, I say that the Accra one is larger, so focus there as well. Why you still fight the crime in Achimota? That's what we are saying. So I don't think it's a good explanation to tell us that, oh, we've not even finished using the available tools before us and dealing with it. Well, then use it, and then we will not get there. So if we haven't used it, but you went promising that you do a particular one, and then now you're asked to do that one. You said, oh, it's because I've not exhausted the known tools. No, it doesn't gel at all.
But I wonder, for those who are listening, for the sake of education, exactly what would the state of emergency do?
My brother, so now, you know, I think don't insult the intelligence. It's important to address the issue and then address it head on. But the state of emergency obviously was to ensure that, look, almost everywhere that all these irritants are operating from are declared no-go areas. If you have seen the shoot to kill, basically that's what it is. It's different from saying, oh, go, wait, don't mind it. No, those things are different. So I think the force of law, the force of some coercion, and the force of the threat of losing your life comes along with a state of emergency. And they are declaring it along places where, clearly speaking, they have ravaged the forest, ravaged our water bodies, affected our livelihoods. And that's war. I don't think it's war. War is not just shooting people. This is even deadlier, because then the effects of it goes through the water. You heard what the Ghana water people were saying, right? First, I go through the Ghana water, and a host of issues that people have died as a result of the government. So you don't sit and fold and say, I want to cherry pick and choose what options I should. You said you wanted to do it, and we agreed with you, voted for you. At least most people voted for you. Then you are now saying that, the state of emergency is not a small thing. Who told you? We knew it wasn't a small thing. That's why we asked you to become a leader.
So you still stand, you in civil society, and I've heard many of your other colleagues still insist that a state of emergency is needed.
Yeah, because you promised it, right? I mean, I said it, yeah, promised. I remember he himself has also been saying certain things that are not even in tandem with what the law said. I don't know why they are beating back. But certainly speaking, we want, if they don't like you, we want to be able to monitor what will happen. Because if it's someone is declared state of emergency, hey, that's serious.
Mm.
They say we want to, the same seriousness we want to attach the federal government.
Well, okay, so now aside that, any other issues?
Concerning what?
Any other issues that you were not satisfied with the answer, or perhaps the approach he talked about is not what you think should be?
Oh, I think I'm fine. I mean, like I said, I mean, it's always a master stroke talking to PM publicly. I mean, he starts his own work well. So I don't see I don't really see that much. And I'm happy I wasn't too many blame games against the previous administration per state. But of course, I see that few of them landed better like CD and what I.
Well, the big issue is that he was also addressing this at the time when his administration had turned 8 months. And I want to find out from you, 8 months in administration, so far so good?
Yes. Absolutely good, because you see, we moved away from how do you vote for IFS. You don't even know what the president is going to tell you the next time, whether he's going to insult you or he's going to say something annoying. I'll give you a haircut. You know, those are the times those are the times we left, right? So this was very refreshing to think that the 8 months you can actually listen to the new president who says, look, I'm with you, I'd like to help you solve this matter. Let's do it together. You know, it's so humbling. And those are the things people want to see. You know, the speaking English or the coat you wear, jumper around, whatever. Nobody cares about that. What people care about it. How did he speak his English? How did he empathize with that, with the problem? How did he understand the issue? The president says, all these tariffs are expectations. What expectations? When the rubber hits the road, we'll sit with all these people and tell them, look, you guys are not even collecting money well, and then you don't get that percentage. You understand? So when the person explains these things like this, I wonder what else you want him to do rather than sing praises and lie, like you said in the past. So for me, all in all, I was happy because not just the optics, but also the substance of it was sincere. You could tell. You could always tell.
Well, thank you. Thank you, as always, for speaking to us.
Oh, yeah. Good morning.
Mr. Franklin Cudjoe, founding president in Money Africa, joining us. Like he said, exceedingly good, that's what he said. In terms of his responses to the questions, disagrees with one thing, and that's the matter of the declaration of state of emergency. And it looks like, I think at some point the president needs to sit down with civil society. There needs to be a conversation about what it is. There needs to be one side convincing the other as to what it is we need to do urgently and now. That is what is very, very important. We can continue with the voices from the president. This is the president then now speaking. Okay, so now we have a state of emergency. So I'll jump to the matter that was raised by Bernard Avle as to the criticism that has come with the removal of the Chief Justice. And the suggestions that, in fact, when he talked about Supreme Leader, he was quoting a newspaper publication that he said that he might be transmogrifying into a Supreme Leader sort of. And this is the president response to that particular issue?
Look at my face. Do I look like a supreme leader? And that is to paraphrase Prof. Star. At Mills, do I look like a cat hunter? Do I look like a supreme leader?